Hi, everyone. I'm Soraya, and I welcome you to my very first Rock Talk. This is our episode 1. We are talking hips, heart, and hummus. I wanted to share with you a little bit about who I am and how this brand even began as a way to launch us into our Rock Talk series. I aim to elevate, educate, and inspire. And without further ado, allow me to share a little bit about who I am and how this brand began. So, I am half Lebanese and half American. So, I like to say I am peanut butter and jelly on Arabic bread. And that is facts. That's what I grew up having as my snack, peanut butter and jelly on Arabic bread. For many, many years, we actually did not have other varieties of bread in my house. It was always Arabic bread. And I am incredibly proud of that, actually. And if you haven't tried it, by the way, it's delicious. Toast your Arabic bread up so it's nice and crispy and it's warm. And then your peanut butter and jelly can go on and it just slightly melts. So delicious. So, my mom was born and raised in Beirut, Lebanon. My father was in the United States Navy, and part of his job in the Navy was as a crypto linguist. So, he was um, learning Arabic, he was learning Turkish, and just really a part of Navy intelligence, which I think is special because he originally from West Virginia and then moved to Colorado, and did not have proper education as far as college goes. So the military provided him ample opportunities. So he was quite remarkable. My mother was on scholarship at Baylor University in Texas. So prior to even meeting my dad, she had already had the American experience, spoke English fluently, of course, Arabic fluently, and most people in Lebanon all speak French as well. And fun fact, my daughter is currently at Baylor University as well in honor of her Teta. Teta means grandmother in Arabic. So my father was stationed on Cyprus and went into Beirut to a Christian conference, actually. And so that is where he met my mother. And so my mother already was a working woman and contributing to her family. My father was pursuing, I think he'd already learned Turkish at that point, not Arabic just yet. But so they met really just at a really unique time in history in Beirut, Lebanon. It was really the Paris of the Middle East. Times were good. It was just the golden years, as many like to say, in the 1964s. Well, it was 1964 when they actually met. And so they had a whirlwind, beautiful romance, married pretty quickly, and went on to travel the world as a military family, raising 5 kids. And I'm the youngest of the 5 kids. My oldest sister, Layla, was born in Massachusetts, Tanya in Scotland, the twins in Beirut, Lebanon, and then I was born in Spain. Having this opportunity to have traveled the world at a young age, I went to 4 different elementary schools, clearly means that I am incredibly friendly. I think all 5 of us kids actually are super friendly and have always tried to work hard to make others, when they're new someplace, make them feel welcome because we know exactly what it feels like to be new. So we are a very friendly family. We are also very proud to be Lebanese. So even though my father is American, you would think he was Lebanese. He just really enjoyed the food, the culture, his beautiful bride. And all of us, we just had this pride, a healthy pride in our Lebanese heritage. We were taught at a very young age that our background was the Phoenicians. They invented the color purple, hence the RaqiSa color is purple, as well as the alphabet. And of course, we all knew about Khalil Gibran and Feiruz, the famous Lebanese singer. So many beautiful parts of our heritage. Dubki is actually our national dance. Belly dancing is really rooted in many ways in the a part of the Egyptian traditions, but because the Lebanese also were so cosmopolitan and international, it very quickly became an addition to their dance repertoires, contributing music and to the dance, to Oriental dancing as well. So I am very, very proud of bringing to you the RaqiSa brand. So let's talk about how the RaqiSa brand even began. So, I studied the theater arts. So, my bachelor's and my master's is in the theater arts. I played sports. Being the youngest of five and traveling so many places, we didn't really have a lot of money to really have proper dance lessons. So, that's kind of an interesting fact for those of you who really don't come from a dance background. Doesn't matter. You can start whenever you want to start. Certainly I did. I love dancing. And so I played softball. I was really a swimmer. So those were really my sports, but I always had an interest in the theatrics. So my older sister Layla actually was pursuing theatrics or theater arts and earned her degree before I did. My mom used to call us the bookends. So she really is the first, and then I kind of followed after. I wanted to be just like my big sister. All my siblings, I wanted to be like them. I just love my family so much. And so really that was my background was musical theater and sports. So it makes total sense that I went into group fitness. If you really think about it, a lot of group fitness professionals have actually a background in some entertainment, which is just interesting fact, and we can expand on that a little bit more as we progress into our episodes. So that's really where I was coming from. And because we couldn't afford dance lessons and musical theater was what I was really interested in. So that means you really need to become a little more savvy with singing, dancing, and acting to become a triple threat. Really, in my 20s, that was what I wanted more than anything. I wanted to be an actress. And I went on to do some professional theater and did both my bachelor's and my master's in the theater arts, actually. And I'm a equity membership candidate. I didn't actually go on to become an equity actor, which was smart, actually. I don't think I would have been ready. I did pursue on-camera acting, and I am a Screen Actors Guild member. So, in concert with pursuing the acting background, I was always interested in fitness. And I would love to share with you heart to heart about my backstory with fitness and how the fitness really was an important part of who I am. And that's another episode altogether, trust me. So around the time, maybe I was in my 30s is when I started really pursuing fitness, particularly as a certification. So I'd heard that American Council on Exercise was one of the better ones that a lot of higher end gyms are interested in hiring future instructors. So that was what I went for first was my American Council on Exercise certification. And so, yeah, so that was how I started was singing, dancing, acting, a professional career, seamlessly layering in my my fitness. And as I was starting the fitness, my first fitness class that I taught was actually called Aerobics A Go Go. And that's because I was performing on stage with a very big cover band and in San Francisco. I know, really fun story. And so from there, I thought I was actually on stage, and I remember kind of doing my gigs and stuff, thinking, "Oh my word, I'm out of breath." And I thought I need to get in better shape. I thought it was in good shape. So then that was actually again how I started my fitness career. It was something I always knew that I wanted to do, though. So aerobic a go-go, that was my first class. I taught at a small club in San Francisco, and through my acting, believe it or not, I was hired as on-camera talent for the San Francisco Bay Club. And that was how I learned about the San Francisco Bay Club. And that ended up becoming my home club. I auditioned for a spot to teach there because I had American Council on Exercise. I was able to get in, and because I had a unique brand, my what I consider my fitness mentor, Stella Sandoval, she believed in me, and I got hired there. And from there, I started teaching other fitness classes. Again, Stella was my mentor, and so the RaqiSa brand really began just by having a great mentor. And that is why I want you to consider me as a mentor because I think everyone thrives under a positive mentor. And so all these episodes are really meant to just add to the conversations, but really invigorate and excite you to become your best version of yourself, whether you are a student of RaqiSa or you are interested in teaching it or just an enthusiast. I certainly hope to add to that conversation and become really a positive influence because people have done that for me. I really believe in paying it forward for sure. So, at the San Francisco Bay Club, I was still working with this large cover band in San Francisco. I was performing a lot. Um, but belly dancing was a part of my backstory. So it was really something I always strived to do and enjoyed in sharing as a part of my Lebanese culture. Now, I will share with you a very thorough episode and how I began my belly dance journey because I think this is very important and it will certainly speak to many of you. So I will save that for another episode. But really, my contribution to the world of wellness began at the San Francisco Bay Club by offering some belly dance classes. So I was teaching muscle conditioning, I was teaching aqua fitness, I was teaching my aerobic a go-go, and I was mostly doing specialty events with my belly dance technique classes at the San Francisco Bay Club. I met my husband at the San Francisco Bay Club, fun fact. And within a year, we were married. And so, long story short, we ended up in Massachusetts. So, I currently live in Massachusetts. When we first moved here, 2007, I believe it was, my daughter was, I think, about 2 or 3, and my son, I think he was maybe 15 months old. He was just a baby still, maybe younger. And so I started doing some, obviously, put my foot in the door pretty quickly with the fitness industry here. So my mom passed away in 2007, I think it was. I think it's kind of hard to remember because I don't want to remember if that makes any sense. It was a very difficult time. I will share many more episodes ahead about the important and powerful impact she had in my life. But really, the whole RaqiSa brand began around that time as a way of healing for me because I just missed her and I so respected her. And keep in mind, my mother did not belly dance. She was not a belly dancer by any stretch, but RaqiSa means female dancer in Arabic. And it really began as a way, a love story, really, to share how to empower ourselves as women and how to find both strength and grace, how to pair the two. And strength doesn't necessarily just mean physical strength, but it can also be mental toughness, mental strength. How to bring dignity, elegance, and class at the same time, share the movements of the Middle East in a way that makes it accessible for everyone. So that was really how RaqiSa began was me grieving my precious and beautiful mother. So here I am now in Massachusetts and in a totally different state and starting off and launching my fitness perspective. So because my mother had passed away, I wanted to find a word that would capture the belly dance method that I was starting to develop. So I asked my aunt, Aunt Wadad. She was the one who actually gave me, she said, because my question specifically was, I want a word that captures, belly dancing, but without saying belly dance, but that evokes elegance and grace. And she said, I think the word you want is RaqiSa. This means female dancer in Arabic, and traditionally it means a dancer. And so I think that that was a really nice name. And that's how that began, actually, was through my aunt. Um, so my mother, she was an educator. She was a teacher. She taught everything turned into a lesson with my mother. Maybe you have someone in your life like that. She was very proud. And in fact, one of her famous sayings that you may hear me say over and over again was, if people don't know about my Lebanon, then I must teach them. She was very much, she had very much a teacher's heart, and she would elevate any conversation that she was in, and she would educate with love, kindness, and care. And so that was really how the RaqiSa brand began. It began as an opportunity for me to keep her stories alive, to educate and to elevate the conversation of the Middle East. Because I have a teacher's heart like my mother, I developed the RaqiSa patented mat. Because when I started my belly dance classes, I realized many of my students didn't understand what the movements were, what the root movements, the foundational movements actually are. The foundation to any and all RaqiSa or belly dance movements begin with slides, twists, circles, and the mat and more. And the mat was designed to become a part of the teaching method. It's a teaching tool. And I had it patented because I do know that many professional belly dancers can use this. So it's not just for me to share with my students, but many belly dancers, many trained dancers who want their students to have a visual aid in the classes. So I think it's something special that I wanted to create and develop and share with the world of wellness. So that was what I began and launched off with my belly dance program. So that was my first product, was the mat, the balance plate to help isolate and teach the movements. It came with a ball and a band. So I was teaching a lot of belly dance classes in the fitness industry, and a lot of the belly dance classes were really hard to maintain and keep. So I was presenting for New England Fitness Company, for example, and I was having a hard time at that point, admittedly, making sure that I can communicate with fitness professionals how to make the belly dance movements most accessible for our fellow fitness professionals. For example, when you take a belly dance class for the first time in the gym, you will have so many people sign up because they're intrigued and excited. But the reality is that the technique is so intricate, it's so detailed that by class two or three, they're gone because it's too much. It's too hard to learn at once. They get frustrated. So this was something I was already grappling with. And by this time, this is around 2013 that I'm really building into this brand. And my director at what now becomes my home club here in Massachusetts, the Kingsbury Club, uh, needed someone to teach bar fitness classes. And so I was taking a lot of the bar classes. And at that time, I was honestly thinking, wow, I really need to come up with a belly dance bar method because this just would make so much sense. And by this time, I would have 13 years in the fitness industry. So it was 2000 that I became a certified fitness professional and was already presenting and was already developing many additions to the world of wellness. So that was really in 2013 when I began to kind of connect the dots and realize I have something here. This could work. This is going to be the solution. So I really thank my fitness mentor in Massachusetts, Julie Daly. She provided me the opportunity to develop my program at the Kingsbury Club. And so it just made perfect sense. I was so in love with how it was progressing and how it was developing. I really worked very hard with my students, by the way, to continue to build the program. Now, keep in mind, these are not students of belly dance at your gym or your fitness studio. They're there to work out. They want the bar burn. They're expecting the bar method. So I had to design it in a way that provided both the bar fitness experience as well as authentic belly dance technique. So it did take time to develop it, and I'm incredibly proud of it. So I believe it was in 2017 that I officially submitted my Rock the Bar program to become an accredited program. And what does that mean? That means I developed an entire manual and submitted it to the American Council on Exercise as well as Aerobic Fitness Association of America to review my course to make sure it met your safety, your setup standards, and was approved to become not only a continuing educational provider, but in addition to the world of wellness that is both safe and effective. This is very, very important to me. And if you are also a fitness educator, you can respect that how important this is to make sure you provide something that is safe and effective. So around 2013, I should add to this, by the way, that I started to do my first belly dance competitions. I wasn't really interested in doing a competition necessarily to compete, but I felt that it would be a great way for me in my own personal life to meet other dancers in Massachusetts. Because again, I'm not from Massachusetts, I'm originally from California. But also to just kind of show my product and give an opportunity to meet other dancers to show my product. And so the bar program really was a great way for me to train my own body because I realized, teaching so many other fitness formats, yeah, you're in shape, but my belly dance technique, I was videoing myself on many occasions and realizing my posture was dropping. And so the bar program became a method to train me and my own body. So that's a really interesting aspect. And I would, again, love to share with you more about my belly dance journey and how I really grew as a dancer. That's a whole other episode for sure. Yeah, so that was really my contribution. In addition, during that time, I should share that my husband had several health issues that really almost shut me down altogether as a business. So my product, everything that I developed, I was so proud of. I was building, building, building. I 100% paid for everything from my own working from within the fitness industry. I didn't want to borrow from my family or take from my family. I wanted to pay for everything on my own. So I'm incredibly proud of that. I know that might sound unique for some of you, but that was something that I wanted to do because this is something I believe in. So there were a lot of times that I had to kind of hold off and shut things down because there were life and death circumstances that came up that I wasn't sure if I could proceed forward. And it wasn't my own health, it was my husband's. Um, so as I continue with my episodes, I would love to share with you more about that story. Included in that story actually is Joelle Young. Joelle is is the first Rock the Bar master trainer, and that is because she was my first model in all my instructor manual pictures and early videos to submit to the American Council on Exercise. And it's kind of unique that that was actually how she learned my Rock the Bar program, was through that actual series of being my model. And that's a fun backstory as well to learn. So so the Rock the Bar program started in really 2017. I started to present it at fitness conferences. My first fitness conference was SCW Fitness Mania, and I believe that was in 2018. Could have been 2019. And that is where I met Siri Chalazi. And Siri, as many of you will know, went on to become the second Rock the Bar master trainer. And she brings so much energy, so much education, spirit, and insight into this brand. I'm incredibly and forever grateful for both Joelle and Siri. I went on to also present. So I did SCW Mania at Boston, and then I went on to do SCW Mania in Washington, D.C. And that was when COVID lockdown happened. And we all know what happened with that. But actually, fun fact, the RaqiSa brand did very well during the COVID lockdown because I was on camera showing myself and really just giving everyone exercise as much as possible. And it really demystified for many that this is a great fitness format. It's not just a belly dance format only, it's a bar format. So it will help you enhance both. So that was really a fun way that tells you a little bit about how this brand began. I went on to continue to present with the World Bar Fitness Summit, as well as other programs to continue to elevate and educate. And from there, we've been providing online, virtual, and in-person Rock the Bar instructor training. So the RaqiSa brand is a part of the Rock the Bar program. And here we are doing our first Rock Talk episodes. So the hips, heart, and hummus offerings that you can expect will merge all of this and more. So with my story comes a fun realization that the hips and the heart and the hummus brings joy to your body and your movement and your health. I will be talking about the delicious Lebanese menus that my mother passed down to me because I think that the world needs more hips, more heart, and of course, always more hummus.